Welcome back to another action figure review. In this review, we're going to be taking a look at the new Joytoy Flying Cavalry Type A 1/18 scale action figure. This is a package that it comes in. The packaging comes in a saran wrap or a plastic wrap. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that and we'll take a look at the packaging. Okay, I went ahead and removed the plastic wrap. So on the front of the box we have a nice artwork of the figure. We have the Flying Cavalry Type A there in the center. Top right we have Joytoy and Battle for the Stars logo. And in the bottom right we have the scale, which is 1/18, which is about 3.75 to 4 inches. The top we have the Joytoy done in black and yellow, which is great. The bottom we have the Battle for the Stars logo. It's really cool. And then on the side we have 10th Legion Flying Cavalry A, which is for the Type A. And this side is the same as the side we just looked at. On the back we have 10th Legion. On the right we have Joytoy Battle for the Stars. I'll go ahead and hold this close so you guys can pause and read it. This is the product information here in the first paragraph. Second paragraph is the company information. And here on the bottom paragraph we have a little bit of information that they're now sharing with everybody. And at the bottom we have the warning for tricking hazardous small parts. Not recommended for anybody under the age of 3. And these are recommended for ages 17 and up. So these are marketed for adult collectibles. Made in China. And here's UPC. These are nice window boxes. We have a front flap here. 2 pieces of Velcro on the corners. And then on each side here. On the other flap, a nice artwork of the figure. 10th Legion Flying Cavalry. Here he is in his clamshell. Looks really, really cool. There's 3 of these. There's type A, B, and C. And there's 2 heavy types A and B also. So don't confuse type A heavy with the type A, I guess we'll call it a standard flying trooper. So I'll go ahead and get this out of the packaging so we can see what it looks like. Here he is in the clamshell. It's really cool. We do get a product insert here. We have Joytoy. Oh, look at some nice artwork. We have a front and the back photo of the figure. That's definitely different than we're used to seeing. On this side, we're used to seeing the precautions and how to disassemble your figure if you need to. So let's see what we got here. Let's friction. Let's take a look at our figure. This is really, really nice. Let's take a look at that head sculpt. It looks pretty nice. Let's see if we can get that to focus. Oh yeah. Like maybe a black hair. Very dark brown, black hair kind of character. No expression. Painted pretty decently. Looks pretty good. Do have a scarf around his neck. On his chest plate here we have a nice red trim. Got a line of red there. Looks pretty nice. Some black here on his stomach. There's a nice gauntlet here on his side. On the back, I like how that's painted on the back. Kind of gives you like that spinal cord look. Do have the peg hole in the back for his jetpack. Really not much fan of those peg holes anymore because they kind of spin when you have the jetpacks on. They tilt side to side with fallout. Should have used the strap method that they use on their other backpacks. That would have been a better alternative, I think. There's some red here on the elbow, on the elbow of that pad, and right here above the black piece on his gauntlet. Looks really cool. Let's look on the interior. We have some gray and a black strap. Doing some gray underneath his, we're going to call it the white, off-white gauntlet. We have a red pouch. We have a mustard color pouch here and here, and a silver centerpiece on his back. Little small pouches that are black here. We have 10th here on his thigh. Gunmetal, which is cool. I love that color. Gunmetal knee pads. And then we have the white with the undertone of the gray. So I like how that gray complements the white. It looks really good. Instead of it just being a white figure, it has that. It does make it look like this. He has a undergarment underneath the white armor. And then on this thigh pad, we do have the newer style of the pistol holsters, which I believe they should be the flexible. This one's a little stiffer than I'm used to seeing. Here on the back, looks like we have some of those exhaust ports. That's what we're going to call them. Some nice gray on the back. You definitely see more of the gray on the back of the thigh pads also. And then some more ports here on the sides. I don't know if that's for like maneuvering when flight, or I have some here also on this thigh pad. Maybe it's like in a side to side, up and down to help, control while in flight. This is straight out of the box. I didn't do any heating, and for us I can tell the figure is in pretty good working order. It's really nice to see how Joytoy continues to improve. See if we can take a look at the articulation of this figure, so we can, without actually heating it. Head's kind of stiff because of the, it's tight here. His neck's down inside that scarf, so his chin's rubbing on that scarf. But you can get it all 360 all the way around. If you remove that scarf, you're going to get more of a down and up, and more of a side to side, but you can get a little. Arms are on a ball joint. They rotate 360. They feel smooth, and they go up about that far until the shoulder pads hits the armor. We have a elbow rotation here. Bendable elbows. It's really good. Get you 90 degrees, no problem. That was just a little more than 90 degrees. And then we have the new style ball wrist, that the hands go all around that wrist on both hands. For the waist, we have a side to side. We have a bit of a ab crunch, and goes back some. If you remove that armor, you're going to get a tremendous amount of more articulation in the chest, and you're going to have articulation right here. For sitting, doesn't do too bad for being having all that big bulky armor on. Splits about that much. Get you about that much without forcing it. Know your range when you're using figures, you don't break them. We have thigh rotation here on both legs. Double jointed knees. Looks fantastic. Definitely see how that peg is attached to that knee joint. His knee pad attached to the knee joint. Some nice thick joints. Definitely thicker legs. For the ankles, let's see, they do pivot down. We have a toe articulation up to center. We have like a rocker side to side, but it's limited due to the way this armor is here on the side. And you might get a 360 rotation if you remove this piece here. But other than that, it looks pretty good. Overall, my impression of this was not bad. I wasn't going to be too fond of the white. I'm not a big fan of the white myself, but it actually is it's like a off-white. With the weathering, it looks really good, and the gray really complements the white. So I really like this, more than I thought I was going to. Not too bad at all. Let's take a 360 look at the figure, and then I will go ahead and show you guys the accessories that it comes with. Really cool. Alright, let's take a look at the accessories. Alright, so let's take a look at his helmet first. We have a black visor. We have some red little lines on top above his visor. He has these two black little ports on the side. Not sure if that's, I don't think it's a gas mask. Probably more for a breathing apparatus. Probably the higher you go in altitude, he'll need some oxygen to supply him. On the side, really nicely detailed. We have some black and some silver wash there for a piece on the side. You have a mustard color here on the top. Black piece on the back. It's like a bracket to his helmet. It's really cool. These helmets are actually replacements for the head sculpt. They do not fit over, so unfortunately you have to remove the head to put this on. So I'm going to go ahead and swap out his head so we can take a look at the helmet on the figure. Okay, here is the helmet on the figure. It's a tight fit, so the articulation is pretty much just a 360 turn on this, because that scarf really gets in the way. As you can see here, it's really up underneath that helmet. So if you want to have a little bit of poseability for the helmet, you have to remove that scarf. But it fits and it looks pretty good. I do like how the kind of the line work goes from the back of his helmet down. That's pretty cool. As a one-piece aesthetic. Not too bad at all. So it comes with a pistol. We have like a gunmetal gun body, and then a black handle or grip. The scalp work looks pretty good. So let's see how well it fits in his holster. Let's see how he holds it first, and then we'll put it in his holster. Hopefully that's not too hard of a plastic to where it's going to cause a problem for us. So we don't have any breakage. Yeah, he holds his pistol pretty good. Not bad at all. I think it looks good. Okay, let's see how well we can get this into his. So you're going to have to probably put the grip of the holster, like these two grips here, around this part of the gun. You're going to have to get it just under the handle, because this is going to be the thinnest part here, and then it'll come here and just under the grip, or it's not going to work. Yeah, that's definitely a little tricky there, because that's how thick that pistol is. I'm going to go ahead and take this off the camera and get that to fit, and I'll be right back. Okay, yeah, it's definitely a tricky fit. So you'll have to have something like this, a tool like this. So if you put it in the front part in first, and then you have to have something to get down behind there, and very carefully pull that out to give you enough space to get that to fit. But it goes in there relatively well if you have something to help spread that. But be very careful, don't pull on it too hard, because you may either break it or pull the holster off the thigh pad, which you can simply just reglue it. But if you do it just relatively easy, it works out really well. And the next accessory we're going to take a look at would be his new assault rifle. This is actually new. A new sculpt for Joytoy. Looks really cool. I like this. We have like a gunmetal body of the gun The clip in the grip and the stock and scope are done in black. It's really nice. Here he is. He can hold his gun pretty nicely. When you first open these out of packaging, I don't think the hand that comes equipped on the figure is probably the best hand to hold the weapons. But there's actually alternate hands I'll show you here shortly. You can play around with the best result, you know, what you're looking for. Looks really, really good. You know, not too bad. Alright, so the next accessory obviously is going to be his jetpack. This is really cool. We pretty much have a gunmetal type of plastic. We have two yellow and black warning strips around the thrusters. And we have two, I think that says caution here and here with a little downward arrow. We have some sculpted vents. The wings are kind of like sculpted upward like this. These unfortunately do not move. They're stationary or sculpted. You can see down inside the thrusters they have a center part that you normally would see. So that's pretty good for detailing. Then we have these two little thin, we'll call them wings, because best I can guess what they're for. Maybe for help with stability. We have very tiny wings here on the thrusters on both sides. Here on the other side we can see that there's a peg for his bag. Looks pretty cool. And this is basically your, almost like your, for example, a G.I. Joe style setup. You just put it in the back, pop it in, and there you go. That's what it looks like from the front. Back of him. It's actually a pretty snug fit. It stays, not too bad. See how stable he can be with it. Yeah. One thing really interesting about the figures, even with the two heavies that are here and here, I've already done a review for those if you want to check that out. But due to all the back weight, that doesn't affect the figure's ability to stand, which is, you know, really nice for stability and balance. So the last two things we get, well, it's technically four things, but I'm calling them as a set. We get a set of fisted alternate hands, and then we get two gripping hands. This is the ones I was saying that maybe, you know, get a better grip out of them. You have to try it when you get yours. Really, really cool. Overall, I'm really surprised on how much I like the aesthetics. I thought it was going to from the product images, but having it, and I hope it comes through on the video too, because it really opens up an appreciation for the figure more. One thing I always say about, I learned actually, and what I'm starting to say now is that the product images don't seem to do the figure or the product that Joytoy offers justice. Until you really get them in your hand, you can really appreciate it a little more. It doesn't bring out the character. I'm not sure why that is. And I hope my videos kind of bring out the aesthetics and the overall paint and design a little better than the product images do. But I'm really impressed. I wasn't sure about this one, but I'm really happy that I went ahead and got him, because I actually have no problem with him now, and the white doesn't bother me. It looks fantastic with that gray, just complements it really well, in my opinion. If I had any negatives for this figure, I'm not a big fan of the gun holsters. I never was, but they function. I mean, so they definitely made this softer. From the very first Interstellar sets, they were really stiff, and I'd be worried about breaking them, but these actually use softer plastic now. so it's not bad. I'm not a fan of that. And the peg hole in his back, I really wish they had straps that went around his arms or shoulders instead of the actual peg holes. The reason that is, for most of the time, this figure is not actually, yeah, see, I can bump it in any turn. You know, I'm barely even touching it. I mean, it's a tight fit. They're not going to fall out. It's just, when you're trying to, you know, pose your figure or play around with it, you're going to bump parts of the figure, and it's going to really throw your what you're going for, your look, your aesthetic off, your pose that you want. Even for, you know, the heavy guys, this here does that too. When you bump it, it goes sideways because this is pegged into the exosuit. But and that's about all. I mean, that's what I had to nitpick about if I had to. So this is a difference between a standard figure and this is the heavy version. So you have two heavy type A's. I'm sorry, a heavy type A and a basic type A, and you're going to have a basic B and a basic a heavy B and a basic B, and then you have one C, which is a basic. So it can be kind of confusing when you're trying to track these guys down. Let's make sure you're looking for, you know, 2 type A's, 2 type B's, and 1 type C, just as a little heads up for that. Because when he first started coming out, it was like they were all labeled as, 2 of them were labeled as type A. Well, what's going on here? How do I know I want to get the different variation? We don't know if it was just like a, you know, you come with a variant. You look in the store, you want to find a trooper in blue and a trooper in brown, and it's the luck of the draw. It's not the luck of the draw. It's actually just 2 different figures, just labeled very similarly, except for the word heavy now. So you can keep a lookout for that. This guy here is a heads up. He's pre-order. He's actually sold out at Locker Toys. If you guys shop at Locker Toys, so he's very, very popular. So I recommend you guys track him down if you're here in the United States at one of your other favorite online retailers and pre-order him. You might have to pay a little bit more money for him, but I contacted Locker Toys and asked about like if they were going to restock them, and I got because of him and the new Fear Mech 2's out of pre-order sold out, and he's just sold out. But they're not. They said there's no plans to restock them. So I don't know what that means, you know, for you if you don't have this figure yet. But I recommend you go to like one of your other online retailers. You're probably gonna pay like $35 for him, is my best guess. But at least you can get him if you really want the blue one. For me, the blue one is my favorite so far out of the 3. So, and I think I'm not the only one, since he is not pre-order sold out, but he's sold out. I keep thinking about that Fear Mech. It's pre-order sold out. And that's also with the Fear Mech 2. If you guys want that and you didn't pre-order yet from Locker Toys, he's not going to be restocked. They are limited. Again, you're going to have to quickly go to one of your favorite online retailers here in the States, and you're going to pay a few extra dollars for them, but you won't miss out on having that piece for your collection. So that's a little advice. Take it as you see fit. Just try to help you guys out here on my channel so you guys can get all your favorite collectibles and as much information I can provide for you. I really hope you liked the video, liked the review, liked the additional information. If you did, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. I will be doing the final 2 for the Flying Cavalry Type B and C, the basic jetpack troopers. So if you want to subscribe so you don't miss out on that, I have some other great stuff coming up too. Please share the video, like the video, comment down below. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in our next review.